Hello, and welcome to episode 25 of Movies and Us. I'm your host, Marcus.
And I'm TJ.
Why you sound so sad, TJ, already?
Because you're not doing this fast enough.
Because we're trying to serenade the viewers. No,
You and your stupid intros. Every time
you're the one dragging it on now.
Every time you have to do some little stupid gimmick.
I add personality. If they don't want to see or hear robotic, hello and welcome to episode 25 of Movies and Us. I am your host, Marcus, and this is
another gimmick.
And today we're reviewing Blade. They don't want to hear that.
I mean, apparently they did because you just did it.
So Blade came out in 1998. It has a runtime of 120 minutes. So yeah, 2 hours, 1 minute. Directed by Stephen Norrington, written by David S. Goyer, produced by Peter Frankfurt, Wesley Snipes, and Robert Engelman. Starring Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff.
Who is Robert Engelman? The name sounds so familiar.
Because you're thinking of Robert Englund. Englund? The guy who played Freddy Krueger?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yes. That's why I saw first. Like, is that? No, it's Engelman. Different. Starring Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff, Chris Christopherson, and Boucher, right?
And Boucher.
Donald Logue. And the budget was $45 million and made $132 million worldwide.
It sure did.
Yeah. And we did this box office last week, so I'll say it placed 29th worldwide. And the top three were Godzilla, Saving Private Ryan, and Armageddon.
Godzilla? Really? That's a Godzilla movie?
Yeah. Remember, it was hyped up. It was America's version. So, yeah.
I remember it being hyped up, but I also remember it crashing pretty quickly.
Oh, it was a bad movie. But yeah, there was so much marketing for it, so that's why it did what it did.
I guess.
Yeah. And also, when you look at it, there's also, like, the rest of those movies are comedies. So the top three are, like, big box office movies. And, like, after that's, like, there's something about Mary, Bug's Life, Mulan, Dr. Dolittle, just kids' movies, so.
Are you saying Dr. Dolittle is a kids' movies?
Yeah, the Eddie Murphy one? Yeah, you know. It's not, is it? Thinking about it. I saw that when I was a child. Mom and Dad, what are you guys doing? Isn't that rated R?
I don't think so. I think it's...
I'm thinking of, where's the one Nutty Professor? This is Dr. Dolittle is a kid's movie. Were you thinking Nutty Professor too?
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah, that's definitely no, this is one he talks to animals. Okay.
Eddie Murphy talks to animals?
And Dr. Dolittle, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you're not missing out.
Well.
So anyway, that's the box office. That's the info to Blade. Nothing behind the scenes worthy about Blade besides the LL Cool J was going to play him for a bit, but that didn't go through. It's just other casting stuff.
I did think that it was interesting. They wanted to do a Blade movie, like you said, with LL Cool J, but they couldn't get it to go off. But Goyer apparently wanted to do a Black Panther film.
Oh, really? I didn't see this.
Yeah, but he couldn't get it into production, so he would settle for Blade, I guess. It's interesting that Black Panther was even considered at that time, really.
Yeah, the 1996s? That was bad grammar.
I mean, because I haven't heard of Black Panther until recent years.
Same. Until he came out, so.
Yeah, at least with Blade, I've known him from the Spider-Man cartoon and stuff.
Do you think the Black Panther movie made back then would have been it wouldn't have been as successful as now, obviously, but decent? Like, if that's such an obscure.
Nah, they would have whitewashed the shit out of it.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, they would never have dunk on what they wanted, and it would never have been the cultural thing that it was today. Not in the 90s, man.
I don't know, because I feel like Blade was kind of cultural to not cultural as in like Black Power movement, but like Black superheroes, like the first one. So
he normalized Black superheroes. That's all well and good, but there is no way they would have let all that cultural stuff happen. Not in the 90s.
It definitely been a fish out of water, like, oh, America's so weird kind of shit going on.
Yeah, it would have been something like that, or they would have made them white or something.
Oh man, the audacity! Could you imagine?
Yes, I could actually.
Isn't there? Isn't one of Black Panther's? I know that's another discussion for later in the series, but doesn't one of his villains isn't like a Klansman or something like that?
I actually I'm not a Marvel guy. I don't read a lot of Marvel comics outside of the really popular stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like these obscure ones, like I had to read up on Howard the Duck, and I had to
That's right.
read up on Blade too. And like honestly, these movies are pretty solid when it comes to continuity wise for Blade.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, was this movie, from what you know, Blade, I guess, was it pretty faithful?
And from what I've been reading, it's pretty faithful. The doctor, the main actress in this,
Yeah,
not canon though.
Karen, I believe her
Yeah,
character
she
name
is
was.
not a character from the comics, from what I've just been seeing.
So they added her. What I've
Um,
saw with Deacon was changed by age a little bit. That's about it.
Deacon was changed by age. They also neutered his powers a bit.
Oh, she actually had powers in the comics.
Well, he didn't get turned to a vampire by normal means. He actually was doing experiments with immortality, and he kidnapped somebody, I think, and was gonna inject them with a dead vampire's blood to see what happened. But he accidentally got stabbed, and someone came to save that person, and he actually got stabbed, and he turned into a vampire through that. But something with his DNA caused his powers to cause him to have a different set of powers, which was when he bit someone, it also created a doppelganger
Of him, or
I think it was of the victims.
that's that.
So every time he turned a vampire, he created a doppelganger of them at the same time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so
That's an interesting weird power to have.
I mean, he's used it a couple times to try to take over, the world and so forth and so forth.
Now, is he like Blade's main bad guy, or is there like who's Blade's nemesis usually?
He is, but he isn't, because from what I've read, Deacon did kill his mother.
Blade's mother?
Yes,
Okay.
but he stayed dead. She wasn't like turned into a vampire like in this movie, from what I've read.
Okay.
But he also he debuted in Tomb of the Dracula #10 Blade, and he's been fighting Dracula in the comics forever. So Dracula's really his nemesis. Deacon's kind of always also been like a subordinate of Dracula.
Oh, okay.
So he's been involved in resurrecting him every now and again. And I read that Tomb of the Dracula #10, and it was weird. Dracula is on a speedboat with a bunch of rich people being introduced by other people, and Blade comes in, and he's a spy. He's in scuba gear and infiltrates the thing.
Was this
Blade,
from the 80s or something? That sounds so.
This is 72. By the way, Blade in this comic has a giant afro. He's got sunglasses.
Is there a pick stick of the afro? Like, is it just pure?
No pick, but it's definitely 70s African American guy. He also wasn't a daywalker.
Was he human then, or just?
He was. Same thing happened. He was bit by his mother. Was killed and bitten, and he got the strength. And no, he didn't get the strength. But instead of getting the strength and the bloodlust and stuff like that, he was immune to being turned into a vampire.
Oh, okay.
So he couldn't be turned. And where a lot of his allies and stuff throughout the comics got turned and stuff like that.
Of course.
But he couldn't be turned. So that was his big thing. He didn't become the Daywalker Blade like we know it until like the 90s. Where
before or after this movie was released?
I think it was actually before this movies were released.
Okay.
Because they got the Daywalker thing from that, I think. I think they're using that one.
Gotcha.
And he got the, what is it called? The Daywalker's abilities by being bitten by Morbius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how he became a Daywalker and got his enhanced strength and regeneration abilities and, his thirst for blood and stuff like that. I did want to mention, like, my experience with Blade. I don't have a lot of experience with it besides the couple comics I read to this, the Spider-Man cartoons and the movies from when I was a kid. But I think it was a year and a half ago on my other podcast, Anime and Us, we did do the Blade anime.
There's a Blade anime? I saw this TV show. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. I think we gave it a 5. It was like average because it felt like a Saturday morning cartoon trying to be an anime.
Was it bloody?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of vamp monsters and stuff,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. but that's the other thing we had, the other experience I had with Blade. So
Okay.
I just wanted to throw it out there. If anyone's interested in the movie, didn't know there was an anime of it, you might want to check that out too.
Was it a long running anime or was it something short?
It was only 12 episodes.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
I'll probably check that out.
No, you won't, liar.
I probably won't, but it's on my list, my ever growing list. Okay, let's do this. Now we fade it from black, and we see a lot of red black screen titles. Yeah, and we're just introduced into a bloody hospital scene.
Kind of. We kind of get
the skyline.
the credits over blackness, don't we?
Yeah, I said that black screen, red credits.
Oh, I missed that part.
I'm sorry. Do you really want to talk about credits, DJ?
I just didn't hear you talk about it, and it sounded like it was wrong, so I had to correct you.
No, maybe I was wrong, but because I
didn't hear you say credits over a red screen. That's all. I just wanted to point out there was credits first.
Okay. There's always credits first. It's a movie. Not always, but anyway.
And we opened in 1967. You didn't mention that.
I was going to mention that. You want to take control of this, TJ?
No,
Yeah,
I want you to do it right.
Okay, so we see Blade's mom. Do we know? Should I say it's Blade's mom yet?
I mean, it's obvious it's Blade's mom.
Okay. Yeah, we see Blade's mom dying, giving birth. I don't know what happened to her. If she was attacked or...
She was bitten by Deacon.
Yeah, but was it after or before he was born?
It was... She was pregnant with him.
Yes.
And she got bit, and I think she was dying, so they had to get the baby out before the baby was killed.
Okay, see, I thought she was attacked, gave birth, dying, and then he bit her somehow.
No, he bit her, which is why she's in the hospital, because they're holding her neck.
Yeah. Oh, so is he his daddy, kind of? Like, not his daddy, obviously, but like...
I mean, his enzymes kind of turned him into what he was.
Oh, that's fascinating. So that's our little prequel, our little cold open. It's just Blade's birth, Mama's doing her thing scene. And we cut back to the present day of 1998. And there's a couple driving around, trying to go to a party, to a club, to a night scene, and having fun and being rowdy. And they get to a butcher area, and she speaks some Russian to the bouncer, and blah, blah, blah. They get into it, and there's a club going on, a little rave.
Is that what they were speaking throughout this entire movie?
Yeah, well, he says it's a dead language later on, like they're reading tablets and dead scripts and all that. So it's either like an ancient vampiric language or Russian. I'm going with Russian. I don't know, I'm ignorant.
Because I didn't know what the language they were speaking was, and they speak a language a lot.
They do. They definitely do. But I know later on in the movie, it's Russian, it's Moscow. It kind of sounds similar. It's like, maybe it's that. I'm going with.
I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it's Russian, so it's Russian. So there's a rave going on. There's dancing. The guy is all confused, like, what's going on? And
because all the people are being mean to him. He's like, why'd you bring me here if you're just going to push me around?
Yeah. This is a rated R film, by the way. We meet our first, would you call him like a little, like the goofy henchman? His name is Quinn. And he's making up some lady. Another one's doing stuff to him.
He's getting a blowjob.
Can I say that on this podcast?
Why not?
I don't know how PC we're trying to go.
You curse like all the time.
So like I said, this guy's making out with some chick and getting a blowjob by another one.
Yeah.
Okay. And as the rave's going on, some stuff starts dripping off the guy's head, and we soon to find out it's a blood rave, and just blood comes pouring from the sprinkler system top. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the most blood we have ever seen in any of these movies. And I think it's going to be the most blood we've ever seen in these movies.
This is definitely the most raspberry juice we've seen in any of these movies.
See, I thought the blood was pretty cool. No, not pretty cool. Pretty decent looking in this whole movie.
It's all right up until when they're draining Blade from his wrist at the end, and you can see the Kool-Aid coming out.
Yeah. But have any of these movies been somewhat not this bloody, but bloody at all?
Not really. I think the closest we came was Tim Burton.
And I think, honestly, of the
Swamp Thing was pretty bloody, wasn't it?
They had explosions. There was a lot of vines. I don't recall that much blood. There was a little blood. Yeah.
I remember a lot of experimentations and stuff.
Yeah, like mutations, but I don't remember them being bloody. They were creepy, but not like grotesque.
But it's hard to do a vampire movie without blood.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can. Oh, Twilight. I don't think you can really do a successful vampire movie without blood.
Those aren't vampires. They're sparkly beings.
They're vampires, and those were successful. Anyway, so yeah, blood rave's going on. This guy's getting freaked out, trying to escape because he's realizing, oh no, I'm surrounded by people with fangs. They're vampires. Oh, scary. And he's trying to escape, and
they are scary. That was a terrifying moment.
Were you scared?
I mean, I wasn't there, so I didn't have to be scared. But if I was him, I would be terrified.
Oh, I'd be shitting myself. So yeah, he's escaping, and he's looking, and he runs into Blade.
And this is probably the best scene in the entire movie.
Oh, you think so? I mean, this is how you start a movie, honestly. This is how you get a movie.
This is where we find this movie sets the stage for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is where we learn that Blade is awesome.
He is bad ass. He kicks so
don't
much
with
booty.
Blade.
Seriously, he's got his katana or sword, whatever it is. He's got his little gadgets. He just turns them into like skeletal dust. I like those special effects a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they did so much blood in the beginning, like with what they did, because they could have easily just showed the special effect vampire thing over and over again without having to worry about the blood.
No, and I think they did this so they let you know going in. You're seeing the rated R movie, people, and we know it's comic book movies, so if you want to get your kids out of here, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, like I said, they could have easily gotten away without using any blood.
I'm glad they didn't. This is great. Anyway,
But it would have been acceptable because of how good that special effect is.
oh, so you're praising this. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because of the skeletal special
Yeah.
effect, you could have easily been satisfied with that without having to worry about the blood.
I guess because like we're on the verge of good special effects, and these are probably the best special effects we've seen in these movies so far in our list.
Right.
The budget wasn't there properly.
It sounds like, or not sounds like, it seems like they actually gave them a special effects budget for this.
Yeah, and they used the hell out of it too.
So, I mean, I'm like the other ones, it's like, we got the film made. Do we have any money left for the special effect? No? Okay, I guess we'll just wing it then.
We'll see how this looks when it comes on the screen, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
So, but no, they actually used it to great effect in this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of exploding vampires in this movie.
Exploding vampires, blood, cussing. This movie earned its R rating.
There's a lot of vampires get turned into California raisins, too.
I love that. That's what happens soon. So yeah, as he's killing off all these little vampire just people having fun, he starts fighting Quinn. Quinn's getting his ass kicked, of course. And Blade gets some information out of him and sets them on fire. And he just burns and screams and burns. Cops come in, Blade escapes. And that's credits, I think, right? No, not credits.
Yep, that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
Review over.
See you guys. That's Blade. Now, then we cut to the morgue, I guess, hospital/morgue, and they roll in Quinn's burnt corpse. And this is where we're introduced to Karen and her kind of friends with benefits, which I don't know what his name is.
They were
Christian?
in a relationship from what I understood it, and they just broke up.
Oh, okay. Because like she does not have any remorse from later in the movie, so it's like not sadness, but yeah.
No, but because he keeps asking her if they had second thoughts about them.
Yeah. Curtis, I think his name is. Anyways, they're both doctors together.
Well, I think she's a doctor and he's a mortician.
Oh, that's a weird.
Like, because he's like doing the I mean, I guess he would be considered a doctor. Whatever, the guys who deal with the bodies down in the morgue. I think it's a mortician, or is a mortician the guy that does the
funeral stuff?
The funeral stuff.
That's he's got to be a mortician, because I think they're hospital related only. Are you googling it? Because she herself has a few titles. I don't remember what they are, but she's got
From my experience in NCIS, I know the doctor that does that they are doctors from that. These are doctors in that show that they deal with the dead corpses, but I don't know if they're actually called anything or not.
They haven't had that term. There's always a term for it. Everyone's got a title.
Medical
examiner.
Yeah, medical examiner. I think it's the ME.
Okay, it must be it then. Okay, medical.
I think it's medical examiner.
Gotcha.
If I remember. So yeah,
okay.
But I think they're both doctors. But yeah, she's just because she's a hematologist. I think
blood doctor.
Blood doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool title. Wow, just saying that. Well, blood doctor. What am I doing in my life? I should be a blood doctor.
Anyway,
yeah, they're having a convo about the red blood cells in the corpse and how it's mutating. I guess how fast they are.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, and
that they're still actually active in a dead body.
Yes. He doesn't believe him, so he goes to take her to see this corpse, and they examine it, and pop, he jumps up and scares them, and he attacks the guy first, bites him, drains him some blood, sees her, chases her, gets her in the hallway, starts biting her, and who's there to see her and save her? Blade.
So I didn't understand this.
Yeah.
If he said he came to finish the job, why didn't he finish the job in the first place?
Because he got chased away by the cops, remember?
Yeah, but he had time to pin him to a wall and then set him on fire. He didn't have 3 seconds to put a silver spear through his heart?
I think he thought the fire was going to stop him or finish the job, but I guess
then why did he show up to the hospital and say, I'm here to finish the job?
Because the cops scared him off, so I'm guessing the cops put the flames out.
But why was he there in the first place if he thought it was going to kill him? If he thought he was going to kill him, why would he go to the hospital?
Because the movie's got to happen?
I'm just saying.
Because she's
this
gotta
part
get
didn't make
Ben.
sense to me.
No, I thought it was weird too. Like, first off, like Blade, how you know where everyone's at all the time? All this ex machina crap.
Well, that's just comic book logic.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with that. But, it's his motivation for going there in the first place, or the motivation for not finishing him off in the first place make no sense.
No. He just got sloppy, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. There's also a lot of monologuing in this movie too. Can't forget that.
Yeah, it gets really slow at some points.
Yeah. I forgot. This could have been easily cut down to like an hour and a half, hour and 45.
Mhm.
But anyways, the cops chase him out the building and he throws her out.
Hold on.
Yep.
So the doctor gets bit, and
Yes.
he, instead of leaving her, she picks him up because he sees flashbacks of his mother, right?
Oh, you had this problem too?
Yeah. How does he remember what his mother looks like?
That bugged me throughout the whole movie. Like, how does a newborn child remember what the hell their mother looked like?
And if she did see her, but it didn't look like it's his doctor, it seemed to turn him away pretty quickly.
Yep.
And even if he did, it was like for 3 seconds when you were just born.
Yep. And that's a problem
Made no
with this
sense to
whole
me.
movie. He gets the flashbacks of the mother. It's like, how? Because later on we found out he was living on the streets up until he's 13. So, like, how? Your mom looks like.
That's also different from the comics, because he was actually brought up in a brothel, from what I read.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because his mother was a prostitute.
So he knew his mother this whole in the comics then.
Well, no, she was raised by the prostitutes that worked with his mother, so I guess they told her.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, that bothered me too.
But because so in comics, it would have made sense that if they seen pictures or something like that.
Yeah, but he had nothing.
But even if they had a picture of her, he wouldn't remember the hospital scene. He wouldn't have a memory. You know what I mean? We would see the memory of a picture or something like that.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I thought the same thing. So yeah, he sees a flashback of his mom and it's like, I'm gonna save you because you. Mama never had seen. And she gets chased out the hospital. Does he throw her out the window?
He throws her out. Well, because he's trapped in a room, and the closest window, I don't think he would make it with her in her arms.
No, I get that, but at the same time, he just threw her.
He threw her.
Yes.
And she walks away with a dislocated shoulder, and that's it.
That would have, and she landed terribly too. Like,
She didn't land very softly. She just like bounced.
He didn't give her a heads up. He just yeet and then jumped after her.
To be fair though, she's kind of half out of it, and kind of so like. If you're in a car accident and you're limp, you get hurt less, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whereas if you're tense, and I don't think she was aware, so she could have just been limp and that might have helped her from a logical point of view, but still.
Yeah. So they get to the other roof and they escape. Well, he relocates her shoulder by the typical, I'll relocate it by pulling it. And that works, medical advice from Hollywood.
I mean, I guess. I mean, that comes back later, too, so.
Yeah, I like that, actually. And, they escape, and he drives her to his hideout.
This is where we get introduced to Whistler.
I didn't know his name at first. I couldn't hear it, so I thought it was like Whittler or something. Now, is Whistler in the comics?
Yeah.
Is he as badass in the comics?
As far as I know. And all the stupid story plot lines with him, like him dying at the end of this, him getting cancer.
Yeah.
And then him coming back in the sequel, spoilers.
I hate that. I hate that they brought him back in the sequel.
That's all in the comics, too, apparently.
Oh, so his death was so like, spoiler for later in the movie, but he dies later in the movie, and it's like, we've earned that. And they have him come back.
Yeah.
It's
but apparently that happens in the comics, so.
That's so lame, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's upsetting.
And even you know how in the third movie where Whistler had like a group of people that ran by, I think it was his daughter in that movie?
Yeah.
That's in the comics too.
See, I'm okay with that idea if he was alive the whole time, but the whole dying part killed me.
I just want to point out that movies aren't the only people who could do bad storylines.
Well, you see, the Hollywood system, no. It was just bad writing from the whole beginning.
They're just adapting poor storylines. That's what's happening here.
But yeah, we introduced Whistler. He's a cool ruffian mechanic / doctor / science. What is his title?
Vampire hunter. His backstory is comic accurate too.
Really? What's his backstory? Fully.
Like he says it in this movie. He had a wife and 2 daughters, and a drifter came along, and he let him in to help them, and he was a vampire, and then he slowly tortured him. That's why he has the cast on his leg and stuff.
Yeah.
That's from the vampire. And then the vampire tried to make him choose what order his family would die in, and he wouldn't do it. And so the vampire tortured him, killed his family, and left him there.
So dark. This is so dark. I love it.
But yeah,
so just
because like I said, I didn't have much experience with Blade going into it, like the comics, and I'm surprised how comic accurate it is.
I guess that's Marvel for you, though. They try to be faithful to what they're doing.
And apparently, David S. Goyer, the writer, also wrote the Batman Begins movies.
Well, he's a very prolific and popular writer, and it's this person in Hollywood, so.
And he wrote Batman Begins, I think. Well, he did the story for Dark Knight. It says writer, and it just has story, so I don't know what that means.
Oh my god, yeah, he did Dark City too. That's right. I love Dark City.
But
yeah, the Dark Knight series.
To be fair to him, he also wrote Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. He also wrote Dark Knight Rises.
Hey man, they all can't be winners.
He also wrote Man of Steel.
Oh, is Man of Steel bad or something?
Man of Steel is a bad Superman story. Yes, it is.
You kiss my ass, it is.
And he wrote Batman v Superman.
But he also did Batman Gotham Knight, the video game. Video? I don't know. I'm looking at this thing right now.
Gotham Knight video, what?
Oh no, I'm trying to give him some defense right now.
Gotham Knights is as an animated short thing that we'll cover in the animated movie thing.
The Puppet Masters? Not the Puppet Masters. He did the Puppet Masters?
Yeah, he also did Crow, City of Angels.
Anyway. He did. I see that. Ugh.
And Demonic Toys. All right, you want to get back to it now?
I guess he did do Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not 100% good writer.
No, but he does have his moments.
He has moments. We'll give him that. But like some of the moments in this are ridiculous too.
Yeah, exactly. So like you gotta take what you can take. So yeah, Blade. We get to meet Whistler. Whistler's gonna help fix Karen. He injects her with what is it? Garlic solution, or is it straight garlic?
It's garlic and silver nitrate.
Yeah, it's supposed to help combat the infection she has, the vampire.
Yeah, but I guess Blade. I guess you have to get to him really, really quickly because it's only been like an hour.
Yeah,
and it's already 50-50.
Which is pretty. I mean, as vampire disease, still makes sense.
This vampire disease is really fast acting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
and most vampire lore, you have to get bitten, then buried, and then
so there's a process to becoming a true vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't just bite you in turn.
Except in this world where you are apparently born, you can be born a vampire.
Yeah, because we're gonna get that scene actually. You can either be born a vampire, so be a full blood, or you can get bitten and become a half blood, I guess. And Blade is a daywalker.
And Blade's something different. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the next scene is the vampire committee. We see a council of pure breed blood vampires.
Yeah, that's what you always love in a superhero movie, a boardroom meeting.
You say that jokingly, but I generally love a good boardroom meeting sequence, especially when it comes to like stuff like vampires. All the like the heads are like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's like lore I don't get to see, but lore I can imagine.
Nah. I mean, I like it when like there's a set amount of villains, like there's a group of them, and they're all in the same room talking.
Okay.
Like, I like that where you get to see a bunch of villains interacting off each other.
Yes.
But this felt like a boardroom because you got, like, one main guy who talks, and the rest of them are just background.
Yeah, they're just faces for later.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah, that's fair. But the reason they're here is because they're having like a meeting because the guy outside waiting to come in is the Half-Blood Deacon, the main bad guy, Deacon Frost. He's a cool, young hipster vampire. He's like, I'm edgy. I know they're cool in that scene. What are you going to say? I'm sorry.
He runs the nightclubs that Blade pretty much killed a bunch of vampires in it, so they're mad. Yeah, because it brings too much attention to the vampire scene, I guess, and they want him to stop and blah, blah, blah. He's not full blood, blah, blah, blah. Tension, blah, blah, guys, blah, tension. Blah, 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 blah. Count, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Count, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, count, blah, 1 blah, 2 blah, 3 blah. Then there's Blades doing some shit, some guy that never happens again later. Some guy that never happens again later. He meets some like a guy, back alley guy to like transfer drugs or some shit. It's not worth mentioning. Yeah, he goes to like an herbalist or something. Who? Oh, Blade. Yeah. He picked I thought you were still talking about Deacon. No. Deacon, that scene's over with. Blade does something I don't care about. No, it's he needs that whatever this guy has because it's part of the serum that makes him not crave blood. Yeah, it's like not worth mentioning really because it doesn't ever come up again. I mean, it's just world building really that he needs to go to his shop. It also establishes that he steals from the vampires. Yes. Well, he says it later too. I was going to mention it then. Yeah, I know, but it's this is where he shows them spending that money essentially.
Yeah, this movie's well made, honestly. Yeah, we get back to Vanessa, or not, what did I say Vanessa for? We get back to Karen.
I don't know. I don't even know when's the last time we've seen a Vanessa.
I feel like we've seen a Vanessa in these series somewhere.
I don't think so.
Vanessa!
I don't think we covered a Vanessa.
Vanessa! Someone screams Vanessa somewhere. It has to be in this movie. Was it Steele, maybe?
No, wasn't her name like Hawk or something? Or Spark or something?
Yeah, Sparky.
Sparks.
Mrs. Wheels McGee herself, yeah.
Sparks, yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Her name might have been Vanessa, though, but he never called her that.
Or whatever. So we get back to Karen. She's waking up from her treatment, her recovery, and she's just walking around the hideout, just exploring like where she's at, what this place is about. She come across Whistler giving Blade his serum to help bounce him out and fix him in his fake blood fix.
Yes.
Then there's a very slow 1 minute chase scene, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit ridiculous seeing Whistler hobble after her.
Yeah, but he does cut her off because he knows more of his place than she does, and he stops the doc and he just tells her, "You're not here against your will. We're here to help you, and this is vampire shit in the world."
A vampire shit in the world.
Tells her like exposition, just vampires exist. This is the Matrix. This is reality. This scene reminded me of the Matrix. This whole movie reminded me of the Matrix, honestly, a lot.
This was before the Matrix.
I know. So this gave me really heavy Matrix vibes, just like from him being like, your reality is not what it seems. There's vampires. This is more than you should.
This is like more along the lines of any fantasy world kind of story.
Yeah, I know, but later there's
you can't really acquire that to the Matrix.
But like I said, like later there's bullet time in the movie. There's some weird. There's
again,
I'm not saying Matrix stole from them.
No. But I'm saying you can't attribute these things to the Matrix when all these other movies did it first.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But the Matrix was the Matrix.
When they're just like fantasy tropes and not Matrix tropes, you know.
I think they became Matrix tropes once the Matrix came out because it became the Matrix. Like when someone sits you down and tells you your world's not your world, here's the reality. It's like, oh, Morpheus talking to Neo, kind of.
That's not what I think of.
What do you think
I think of Howard the Duck.
That's a whole different situation.
He's a world out of his world. That's what I think of when you say that.
He's a duck out of water, right?
He's in a world not born of his own.
So yeah, as he's giving exposition, as he's talking to her, he fills up Blade's car in the most like worst way by just dumping fuel all over the place for putting the hose nozzle in. It's like, what? It's just like, first off, it's a nice car. I don't want to say that, and then just the way he's putting he like spilled a gallon onto their car. It's gonna eat the paint, kill it, and then lets a match next to it. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I know you're supposed to be hard ass and not caring, but like, he goes over how to kill vampires. Cross doesn't do shit against vampires, but Silver does, Garlic does. They're highly allergic to garlic, sunlight/UV rays.
Now we're going into vampire lore. We can go into vampire lore. Each vampire story has different lore.
Yeah. And we'll find some more vampire lore later, but that's what they know.
You know, it's funny. Every decade or so, when the new vampire trend hits, they say they pretty much scrap all of it. All the stuff you read in those movies are not true. And then they reinvent their lore.
You know how garlic and crosses are good, bad against vampires? So that's wrong. Don't believe in everything you read. It's Silver, guys. Next generation. Silver's bad for vampires? You're wrong. It's lollipops. You need lollipops. Like, what's going on? They just keep, like, you're right, they keep changing it.
And,
and there's always that sequence.
And sunlight doesn't kill them because they sparkle.
Yeah. You gotta drown them. Like, what? Nah. But yeah, so Blade, after the exposition, Blade goes to drop Karen. Why do I want to call Vanessa? He goes to drop Karen back off to her apartment. We get a scene with Deacon and his rival of the Pure Bloods. His name is Dragonetti.
Yeah, he's kind of like in charge of the whole council.
Yeah, he was the guy that's talking mainly at the table. And
he's the only character that has a name in that.
Exactly. There's some chick, there's some bearded dudes, some other people we don't worry about. But yeah, so Dragonetti's yelling at Deacon because Deacon's trying to decode some old translations of stuff, and
because he's not a half-breed and he's not allowed access to this stuff.
Exactly.
And he's also worried about what he's up to, so
rightfully so, though. But yeah, but Deacon's a cool youngster. He's got headphones on, doesn't hear anything he's saying, and blah blah blah. And yeah, that's that scene. Just he's more tension.
Cool youngster.
Yeah, he smokes all the time. He's edgy. His shirt's not always buttoned up all the way. He's just relaxed and edgy.
Hey,
that's just what he is. I love it. It's like such a Hollywood thing. Blade and Whistler scare her, saying, "You don't know who's a vampire." So look around all the time, be on edge. And so she gets back to her apartment. She's confronted by two people in the elevator. She's like, "What's going on? I don't know if you're vampires or not." And she,
That was a weird fake out.
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they have the tattoos indicating that they are those people, but they never do anything.
Exactly.
They literally just go home.
Yeah, they punk her, and she's gonna go shoot them down the hallway, but they go, oh, they're not there anymore. It's like that was pointless. But then she gets
going to our apartment. What are you worried about, lady?
But then she gets to her apartment and starts gathering stuff. Apparently, she leaves the door open. Maybe we don't know. And an officer walks in. It's like, hey, I'm just doing a checkup, health and wellness.
Yeah, but he just walks into her apartment.
Yeah, like no knock or like no hello.
That's not weird. Sure. Oh, that's not weird. You just walking into my apartment,
right? Like it's very like, no, you're definitely a bad. No matter how you try not to say you're a bad dude, you're a bad dude.
Exactly.
Yeah. And turns out he's a bad guy. He tries to beat her up and kidnap her, but guess who's there?
Yep, because Blade used her as bait.
Yep. And
because he's a jerk.
He used her as bait. And Blade proceeds to kick the shit out of this guy. It's just, I laughed a lot. He like just.
Is this where Blade does? We didn't mention it when maybe it was in the first fight. With Blade and his gestures, like his self-satisfied, like arm pumps.
Oh, it was the first fight. Yeah. Well, the first fight, he like smiles at the camera and throws something, which is funny. And then he does take a takedown on someone. He's just like fist pump. Yeah. He's so Wesley Snipes is so good as Blade in this movie.
He is definitely a comic book character.
Yes, he's enjoying himself. Blade, it's just Blade's way, the way he moves so precisely and shortly. It's just.
Oh yeah, no, he's like even the and I agree with the statement. The Goyer who wrote this movie said that Wesley Snipes was the only choice he had for Blade.
Yeah, there's honestly no one else could have played Blade.
Yeah, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I actually don't see anybody else as Blade.
Yeah, how Christopher Reeve was and is still Superman / Clark Kent. Wesley Snipes is Blade. Now the new one's coming out, and so we'll probably. I hope I doubt I'll change my tune on that, but we could still sing.
We'll see. I got to give him a chance.
Oh, always. I'm not going to hate it, but.
Like no one thought that
not Jared Leto. Heath Ledger.
I was gonna say no one thought, but I that's a bold assumption on my part. No one thought, yeah, but like Nick Fury was white in the comics, and then they got Samuel L. Jackson to do it. Now everyone sees him as Nick Fury.
Yep.
So that was perfect casting too. So
and I got to Marvel. Marvel does, I guess, from this movie on, they got their casting choices pretty much spot on.
Yeah, it's pretty well
most of the time.
I was gonna say there's a few Marvel movies, but Marvel didn't really do those movies, so to speak.
Like which ones?
Like the Fantastic Four movies.
Those castings were bad movies, right? I thought the casting was
no, it's
kind of tight.
Captain America as the Human Torch.
You don't like him as that?
Nah.
That's fair.
And Jessica Biel as the Invisible Woman.
I don't like Jessica Biel, so she's not
I don't mind her as an actress, but, I didn't see her as... She just felt like... But I always have a problem with the Fantastic Four and the Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic relationship, so...
Yeah, it's really groomy. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that other one we saw is like, really?
And that's, comic accurate, too, so it's like... Anyway, we're going off topic again.
We do that with movies we like. You realize that?
Yeah, true.
So yeah, he beats the shit out of this guy, and he just reveals like a neck tattoo. He's familiar to Deacon, and he tortured.
Did you freeze?
I wanted to call her Vanessa. It's not Vanessa. It's Karen. And
what is your obsession with Vanessa?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Is there a Vanessa that you're crushing on or something?
I don't like that name that much. So no, not to my knowledge. Vanessa. But so yeah, he interrogates the cop, steals his Rolex as a fake Rolex. He says that, and then they get to the cop car in the middle of the street. And I thought this was weird because they're holding a cop hostage while people are just walking around.
Yeah, no, I thought that was weird too. I was like, is no one gonna stop this?
In the middle,
that guy's a cop in front of a police car.
He goes to bash the guy's head into the car. Like, no one's. I know it's New York. I know New York's pretty cold, but like.
That's not New York, is it?
It looks like New York streets. So I don't know where officially it's supposed to take place.
I know Blade's from Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I thought it was Detroit.
It looks like it could be. Well, wherever city they're in. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where. I know it was filmed in L.A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was filmed in L.A., but I know the Blade characters from Detroit, so I just assumed it was Detroit.
Oh, so yeah, okay. They never mentioned the city. I thought but
it's also a fantasy world. You didn't really need to mention the city.
Exactly. So I thought it was going to be.
It doesn't matter, but I just was under my own assumptions about that.
Yeah, same. But yeah, whatever city they're in, they're beating this cop up in broad daylight, and like no one's flinching an eye. Like that happens every day. Well, he's apparently a blood smuggler. He transports blood to vampires and all that kind of stuff. He gets away, and they just stake out his.
Well, he doesn't get away.
How's he get away? Is she?
Maybe he does get away. I just thought Blade let him get away.
Oh, you think that's what happens?
Yeah, but I mean, because I just found it implausible that what's her face stopped Blade from catching him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seemed a little implausible to me, but I guess it's possible. I don't know, but he does. They just stay there and stake out the car until he returns.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
yeah,
like
I get what you're saying. I think like long-term planning, he would have done some shit like that. You're right.
I mean, he seems to have a plan for everything else. So
exactly. Can we talk about his outfit? Like how uncomfortable it must be to wear.
I mean, the vest looks uncomfortable to wear.
Yes.
It's very bulky, but the rest of it's just like a leather jacket. So
Yeah, it just seems. I mean, it's cold out too, so I guess it fits him. It's a nice outfit too. I'd wear the shit out of that. But yeah,
I mean, it's not hard to make a stylish outfit out of a black leather jacket and pants.
that's true. Go to any GIMP scene. Anyway, they stake out his the cop car and just wait all night. And that she doesn't think he's gonna come back, but like any dumb familiar, he comes back to his cop car and they follow him to the hideout. Where do they follow him to?
They follow him to his delivery.
And he's delivering to the big, okay. Yeah, they follow him to delivery. It's like some Asian strip club, bar, nightclub thing.
I don't know, because there's a bunch of old Japanese guys sitting around a stage full of Japanese women dressed like high school anime girls.
Yeah, singing K-pop.
Singing this, and then was that K-pop? Because it sounded like rah 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 rah.
I don't know what it was, and they're all dressed in suits too, like they're like a business or something. Like there's nothing.
And I also looked up where it was filmed because of this scene, because there's a lot of Asian like back characters, like side, like in the background and stuff. So I was just wondering, maybe they were filming in like an Asian country or something.
No, probably just China.
No, it was it was in LA. So, but there was like, I've never seen so many Asian characters like just in the background and stuff like that, unless it was filmed or specifically designed like that.
Yeah, like Rush Hour or something was kind of supposed to be. But yeah, that caught me off guard. This movie's weird. But like it's a good, makes sense kind of weird, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
but yeah, I did not get the weird Japanese old guy bar.
Yeah, maybe it's a thing in Japan, but who the fuck knows?
I mean, I watched a lot of anime.
Exactly.
So I would not put past Japan to have something like that, because they have some weird taste.
And don't they have vending machines that serve like anti? I like Japan. I'm not trying to like diss you guys. Like I love to visit.
I am not the Japan expert on that show. That's Sean.
He would know some shit. Sean would know. But yeah,
Sean's the guy he's the anime expert. I'm just like you're the movie expert. I'm just the comic book guy.
You're just there for the ride.
So
yeah. But anyways, Blade catches up to the cop and proceeds to beat the shit out of him again in the kitchen. I just love. There's certain characters in the movie that are just there to get beat up, and it's great. And the guy tells him there's a patchaway behind the fridge. Blade takes the patches away. Does he knock the guy out, I guess?
Yeah,
he knocks him out.
No, he lets wait, the cop?
Yeah.
No, he lets him go.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
He lets him go.
What? That's weird. It's out of character. I think it would have killed him. No, that's right. He had the guy send a message to Frost.
Yeah, and he's a human, so
yeah.
So he doesn't need to die.
That's a weird line to have, though. Like if you're a human in conjunction with vampires, I think it would kill you.
Yeah, but you could also justify killing a vampire because they're already dead. Not really murder.
Fair, but if you're like helping the people who are dead out to stay alive,
I mean, yeah, I get your feeling. Yeah. I get what you're saying. But if you don't have to kill them, why do it? You know,
to inconvenience the vampires.
Yeah, but was it really inconvenient? It's just another cattle dead.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Anyways, yeah, the Blades investigate him and Karen investigating the place. They cut back to Frost, and he's having his own little house party going on. Still translating the thing, and the translation of the tablets are complete. And we get the first time we see this animatronic, this CGI screen of the ritual process that should happen.
So here's my question about this.
Yes,
he deciphers this English language, and it's floor plans, and it's computer generated.
Well, I guess the computer was taking what it's seeing on paper and then making something out of it, I guess.
It just seemed like it was awfully technical for something that's supposed to be thousands and thousands of years old.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just me.
trying to think of an excuse for that, but I can't. Yeah, I got nothing.
Like I said, that's just a nitpick on my part,
Nah,
but
it's a good
I thought it was weird.
Nah, but yeah, and we see that animatronic like 3 or 4 more times, anyways, and it's that
Yeah,
bothered
it
me.
happens. It's there a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, he goes back to the party. The familiar shows up, says, "Hey, Blake, he's a problem." Blah blah blah. Frost has nothing to deal with it. He just sucks him of blood and kills him. Does it kill him? I guess.
What, the cop?
Yeah, I guess it does kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his little party.
Yeah, and throws him into the pool. And we cut back to Blade and Karen. They come across this gluttonous beanbag of a person / vampire. He's called
He's called Pearl.
He's called Pearl. He's the something.
Archivist.
The record keeper.
Yeah, the archivist.
Yeah. Pearl, the record keeper, the archivist, and then they torture him with information by taking a sunbeam, essentially, light.
It's a UV ray.
UV ray that Whistler made, I guess.
Yeah, that Blade doesn't like because it's too heavy.
Yeah, but Blade's a big guy, and they just shining on him and torturing him for information and what's going on, what's the plan.
Yeah, Karen gets a little vindictive here.
I love it. She is like no remorse. And she's like, I'm gonna just sun the shit out of you, and it works because he gets all the permission they need out of him and kill him. We cut to.
No, because then Blade blows up the door.
Yeah, he goes to the vault.
He goes in the vault, and then he's jumped by the guy from.
Not Deacon. Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn, but I know that actor for somewhere.
The actor? Oh, he's from a show I used to love.
Yeah, that's that show.
Right. I used to watch that show all the time. It's such a good show.
What show was it called? I was trying to remember. I was going to say that guy from Grounded for Life.
Grounded for Life. I love that. Go watch that show, guys. Finish this podcast episode and go watch that. It's a good show.
He's also Harvey Bullock in Gotham, too.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things. He does not get recognition, I feel, because he's a good actor. Not great, but he's good.
A good character.
Yes.
He's a good character actor.
Yes. He was in The Patriot, too. Wow, yeah. Don't do this to me. I'm not going down the damn rabbit hole, TJ.
I like that actor. That's why I brought it up.
I know you watched that show.
I didn't watch every episode, but when it was on TV when I was younger, I watched it.
Should we read that next? No, stupid.
This is not TV and Us.
Can we do that?
No.
Yes.
No. You know how many the episodes are in a TV show? It'll never work.
We're not gonna do it this way. We'll do what you guys do in Anime and Us. We would have watch a season.
No, there's too many episodes. We would have to do it episode by episode.
No, that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
So Grounded for Life, Quinn and his gang jump Blade and Quinn in the archive room. And it's just all papers of the dead language and everything. And he's monologuing and saying, "Listen, Blade, blah, 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 stab for stab, and et cetera, et cetera." And while he's torturing Blade, Blade's like, "I got backup coming, you dumb idiot. You should have killed me, you had the chance." And here comes Whistler busting through the wall was it grenades or a vehicle or something?
I don't know. I thought he was going to drive through with something, but they're underground.
That's what I was thinking. So, how did he get... I thought, did he drive underground through all this stuff, or did,
I guess he just blew it up with something, but it didn't show him with anything. I mean, he did have a backpack with a bomb in it that blew up the rest of it, so maybe he had another one of those.
I guess. Before that happened, I want to mention that, how Blade's sword, when someone else handles it, there's, a timer on it, and once the timer clicks to the end, it, blows your hand up. And I guess comes...
Except for when his girlfriend uses it, because...
I guess she knows how to disarm it, probably.
I guess. I don't know.
If you don't...
Because she picks it up, in this scene, and holds it for quite a while.
But anyway, yeah, the interrogation goes on. Whistler shows up with a bang and just unloads his machine gun onto all these goons that are gathered in one spot for some reason. And Blade and Karen, hate her name. They try to escape. They get down a tunnel and they come across a CGI train. Did you notice?
CGI train.
Did you notice it was CGI? Could you tell the difference?
I didn't actually know it was CGI.
Oh, it's so ugly. Really?
I couldn't tell the difference now. I told you I couldn't tell the difference.
Oh, okay. But yeah, there's while they're there, they blow up the building.
I told you I'm really bad with that stuff. I can't.
Yeah, but this is really bad though.
All right. It wasn't so bad that I couldn't tell it apart. It was moving so fast that, if you're not thinking about it, it doesn't really matter.
That's fair. But yeah, they chase into this the subway, and there's a big fight scene. The third railing. What's that? What is that in the train subway?
The third rail?
Yeah, is that super electrified or something?
Yeah, all third rails are super electrified. It's what kind of propels the train forward.
Oh, okay. So I know every subway scene has that. Don't touch that one.
Yeah, because it's kind of on an electrical rail, and that's how the trains are moved forward. That's why, you ever see trolleys?
Yeah.
When they had the wires above.
Yes.
That's connected. That's an electrical current too, as far as I know.
Huh. Okay. Thank you for teaching me something new, TJ. But anyway, there's a cool.
I mean, this is just what I remember, so I could be wrong.
Now, I've always wanted to know why that was so electrified and so dangerous, but now that makes sense to me, I guess.
I mean, like I said, this is kind of just stuff I'm remembering at secondhand, and I could be wrong.
I'm sure.
Don't take my word as gossip. Is what I'm. As
the gospel.
Gospel, yeah.
I'm sure someone in the comments is going like, well, actually, the third rail was invented and blah, 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 and made for this blah, blah, blah reason. Please do, but don't ridicule us for ignorance. But yeah, there's a fight scene and Quinn gets it.
You can ridicule all you want. I don't give a crap. I'm not going to read it anyway.
I care. I care about people's opinions.
I don't.
Egg suckers. Quinn and Blade fight, and Quinn gets his ass kicked and runs away like a coward that he is. Blade holds on to Karen. I almost called her Tanya. I just cannot. I hate that name, Karen. He holds on to Karen. It's like, what you could do, Blade? Like, you'll see.
Well, she is a Karen.
You think so?
Isn't that the new thing?
Yeah, but that's for someone who's like.
But that was the joke I was making.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, she is a Karen.
Oh, you're great, TJ. Blade grabs onto the train and just flips them back, and they're flying with the train.
I feel bad for people whose names are actually Karen.
I feel bad for them now. Like, man, my name's a meme. How annoying must that be?
Yeah.
Ugh, like it's like I'm joshing with you. Like any name that's just people use as a verb or something. Like, screw you. But yeah, so Blade and Karen escape with the subway. Gets into the subway. She relocates his shoulder. He's
call back.
Yep, he's jonesing for his treatment, I guess, at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know the next scene is she's with Whistler. He's telling her all about like, okay, your Blade needs a fix of blood because he still have free.
Right, because she's working on a cure.
Yes.
And is this where we learn that she does actually have a cure for people who were bitten by vampires?
I think that's later on in the movie. I think she's working on it now, maybe. I know he says this is where he.
She does this. She does discover that she can fix vampirism because it's just a disease that she can do it through gene therapy. It's like globin, I think. The hemoglobin is what it was. It's a lack of hemoglobin or something like that.
Yes. All that. Yes, where things just said yes. But yeah, that mentioned that a little bit more. Blade's backstory.
His black story.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's accurate.
Yeah, I guess. And then we cut back to Quinn arguing with his lady friends and like how he's an idiot. And they blame him. After this, then we cut to a pretty cool scene, I think. Deacon and his gang take Dragonetti to a sunrise and they execute him because he's a full blood and they don't like his attitude. He doesn't like their attitude, and this is their issues. And is that why he kills him?
Because he's standing in his way and he's the hierarchy and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's Quinn and their gang put motorcycle helmets on and get fully dressed, while Dragonetti has like a really gruesome, really awesome death by sunrise, and it's just so beautiful. Then Quinn and his gang get to
why doesn't Blade could use a blade of glass? He can use a blade of grass.
That's stupid. What's the point of that?
I didn't use a pun today.
That came out of nowhere. I can see we worked that in. It was just so out of nowhere and dumb.
All right, do you want a switchblade?
Yeah, there we go. That's better, I guess. Yeah, he just says like, "Oh, Blade carries a switchblade or something." What's Blade's real name? Do you know?
They say it like 30 times.
What's his real name?
Eric. His mother says it like 30 times.
You're right. Okay. Yeah, I would go by Blade too if my name was Eric. Name. So this is where we come to Blade and Whistler and Karen talking, and this is where she's talking about the cure. Finally comes up with the cure. Well, she doesn't come with a cure in this scene. She makes a cool exploding serum that, when introduced in the body, it will explode a body part.
Yeah, it's called split blood clots.
Yeah, and it's so cool. Use it for exploding vampire heads is fantastic. And after this scene, there is she takes his blood to find some kind of medicine or some cure or whatever, etc., etc.
Try to suppress his thirst.
Yeah.
Or actually to cure him too. They do mention she can probably cure him, but his problem is that his vampirism is in his DNA and he wasn't turned. It's not like a virus with him.
Exactly. If they do cure him, he becomes all human, no vampire. What's the fun in that? You're not Blade at that point. You're just Eric. No one wants to be an Eric. Anyway, Blade's walking down the city street because I don't know reasons, and he comes across Deacon, and he's in China. They're in Chinatown, yeah. And he has a Asian child hostage, and it's
Yes.
what?
I said he is. He most certainly is.
And he's wearing like a super high rated SPF apparently.
Oh yeah, he wore that when they killed the vampire guy too.
Yeah.
They took him out during the morning and to watch him blow up, and they wore motorcycle helmets, which I guess he doesn't need here. Well, I don't know why he needed the motorcycle helmet in that scene and not in this one.
Because it was cool. And I guess he does need it here because Billy's such a mascara's running, so obviously his stuff's wearing off. Whatever.
That must be super strong sunscreen.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be like SPF like 10,000 or some shit. Because I don't know, man. That's intense.
I mean, sunscreen isn't what it is. It just allows you, like, the SPS is how long you can essentially stay in the sun without getting burned.
Yeah, and you have to reply.
Eventually, the rays will get through though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you would know this. You're pale, huh?
yeah, I don't go out in the sun though. Why would I need sunscreen?
I put sunscreen on. I had some
Okay.
on earlier today thinking about it. But yeah, so what's Stinger? What's his name? What's Frost is trying to do? He's just trying to persuade Blade, like, truths, man, I just need you to be with us for a little bit because I got some bad plans going on for the world. But Blade's like, nah, bruh, screw yourself. Like, whatever, I'm gonna do my own thing then without you. And then so Blade's gonna shoot him. Some really janky bullet time happens, and then Frost throws the girl through a window and into the street. It's fantastic. And runs away. Blade gets the girl in the last second before a bus hits her. And no one's flinching an eye. And he's like, okay, girl, go home. And no one's like, oh, wow, this is all walking around.
Oh, there's only a little Asian girl. Well, who cares?
But you think, wow, TJ.
I'm just saying that's what they think.
It's Chinatown, though. Someone would care.
Well, they eat dog.
I'm surprised you said that. That's some shit I would say, TJ.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, we come back to Karen and Whistler, and they come up with a cure, I think, right? So yeah, they're in the we're back at to the hideout. They get ambushed by Frost and his gang. Whistler gets the shit kicked out of him. Blade shows up afterwards, sees Whistler under a blanket. They have their last heart-to-heart speech. Like, Whistler's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Just get out of here, Blade. Shoots himself in the head. Dies for now. So yeah, after Whistler's death, Blade's doing his little montage of getting ready for the last fight. Whistler's talking to Karen about something no one cares about. Then we get the cool scene of Blade coming in. This is the Matrix, man. Because Blade comes in while the cops are all there and just starts...
It is not the Matrix.
It's the Matrix.
But it's not the Matrix.
He rides a motorcycle through a waterfall over a glass window and shoots up all these security guard.
But it's not a very good plan.
It's not. It's stupid because he gets caught so soon.
Yeah, he gets caught immediately.
Yeah. First he runs to his mom, which I hate this plot too. I hate.
Well, but not only does he get caught immediately, but he also went through all the trouble of loading up all those weapons on his thing, and they're all over his suit, and then he gets captured, and they all get taken away, and you never see them again.
Exactly.
What was the point?
Yeah. First, there was that good fight scene, and he explodes two vampires' heads, which is fucking badass and gruesome. They gets caught.
Okay.
The mother subplot. Is that the same thing in his comics?
No, as far as I can see, the mother's dead in it.
I hate that they brought her back.
And it's oddly erotic in this, too.
She hits on her son a lot.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
And it's not needed either, because Deacon already has a girlfriend in this.
Exactly.
She kind of plays the same role. It's just there to make Deacon even almost family, but you can even explain that he's the one that bit her. So why do you even need her alive?
Show a flashback or something. It's just if that plan's stupid, because if that's really his mother, which it is, it could go south so many ways. She could grow feelings out of nowhere and feel bad for her son. That's her son. It's just
she is a vampire, but
they
portray vampires as pure evil in these.
God, that's dumb. So stupid. Anyways, Blade and Karen are taken to the main prophecy building.
Prophecy building.
What would you call this place?
A dig site.
Yeah, prophecy building, exactly. And so they throw Karen down this damn pit of scariness.
And we get a vampire zombie.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more of them, but there's only just her old co-worker / fling.
Yeah.
And somehow
Travis or whatever his name was.
Yeah, somehow she has an encounter with him and somehow escapes later on. But Blade's getting monologued by Deacon, and Deacon's showing, I know everything about you, Blade. I can know how to defuse your sword and blah, 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 blah. And it tells him what the ritual's going to happen, etc. So all that happens. Then Blade gets entombed into this stone sarcophagus.
He gets packaged like he's an action figure.
They probably sold it.
Like this styrofoam thing. Get your life-size action figure of Blade for only $500.
That's pretty cheap. You don't think their moms probably bought that for themselves and not for the kids? Oh man, my husband's not here at work. But so yeah, there's that sexual tension between Blade and his mother, which is really creepy and weird. He gets encapsulated, blood starts dripping from his wrists.
Oh, I forgot to do my train joke.
You want to do a train joke, TJ?
Yeah, well, when he was fighting Quinn down in the train station,
Yeah.
and Quinn got train faced.
How's that a joke?
He got faced with a train.
That was really bad. Karen escapes somehow magically. She meets up with Blade, and while she's meeting up with Blade, the ritual's going on because Blade's blood's everywhere, and getting on to the 12 sacrifices for Frost. When she frees Blade, she lets him feed from her to help regain his strength and rejuvenate.
And he kills his mom.
Yep, Blade's full of power again, so yeah.
And so he goes and has a sword fight with the end guy.
Hold on. Yeah, but Blade counters his mom, kills his mom, because he's got to finish his blood, do all that. There's a big boss battle. All the minions fight against people. Karen kills the blonde minion bitch by...
Who do they fight? As far as I know, they only fight Blade.
Yeah, people, yeah. Blade kills a lot of people.
Yeah, you said all the minions fight... You said all the minions fight people.
Blade kills a lot of minions. Karen kills the blonde minion bitch by spraying garlic into her mouth. Her head explodes. Cool. Blade kills Quinn by just slicing her head off real quickly and loved it. Laughed. And Blade fights Blood God version of Deacon. There's a big cool sword fight. Deacon cuts Guts in half and throw back together. Then Blade takes the head exploding devices and just gives them all to Deacon. He just regurgitates and explodes into a big pile of shit. I don't know how you explaining that. Karen comes up to him like, "Yo, Blade, that was pretty cool, bruh. We should call you something better than Eric from now on. And I can give you a cure." He's like, nah, I don't need a cure. Make me a better version of the antidote, and that's all I need. He ends up in Russia for some reason, in Moscow, kills a vampire.
Yeah,
and that's the movie.
I'm not sure. I don't know why we went to Russia at the end, other than sequel baiting, because I think that's where we start in the sequel.
And that's all sequel bait. That's all that is.
Is that all it is? A sequel bait?
Yep.
They were that confident they would get a sequel, huh?
What else would he go? Why else would he travel to Russia to kill one vampire? I guess like for whatever the sequel could tell us. But yes,
maybe there's more than one vampire, and that's just one of the vampires. Maybe it's a super bad vampire.
Yeah, but like to not have us.
He was gonna kill a blonde woman.
That's what vampires do, but not give us any more information than that. It's sequel baiting. That's all it is.
I guess.
Man, that's Blade, everybody. Bloodiest, foulest movie so far in this series and in our collection so far. First badass black superhero.
Oh, poor Steel.
I know, right? He wasn't badass enough for me to count him.
It was, yeah. I mean, poor Steel.
But anyway,
you gotta respect your first black superhero, Marcus.
No. I said first badass superhero, black superhero.
Yeah,
Steel
I know.
was the first black superhero for sure.
Insult and Steel.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know, right? It's what I do. So, what you think of this movie, TJ?
I liked it. I mean, it was longer than I remembered.
Yeah, 2-hour runtime. I've always remembered it being slow at parts. But watching it today, it's like, oh yeah, this is slow at parts. The only thing that I can really critique this movie for is sometimes there's bad CGI, and sometimes there's moments where they could have been cut down a little bit. But nothing like too egregious. There's nothing offensive about this movie. It's a vampire movie.
Yeah,
it's bloody.
It's a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's an action vampire movie.
Exactly.
So it's like, but it's nothing special either.
It isn't in a weird way, but to me it's special enough because I guess it didn't do anything different, really.
It has historical significance, but it doesn't really come into play until much later. You know what I mean? At the time the movie was made, it's a good movie. It's just at the time it wasn't anything special. I mean, nowadays you can argue it's the first really popular black superhero movie, so forth and so forth, but that took years of after things happened, you know?
And I think it took years just for the fact this really isn't advertised as a superhero movie. It's just Blade. This is an action horror, like you said. It's not a superhero action horror movie. So for people to be on the superhero bandwagon or the craze now it's popular. Back then, it was popular for cool action, a lot of blood, and Wesley Snipes doing Wesley Snipes stuff. Like I said, it wasn't a superhero movie. I still don't feel it's a superhero movie, honestly.
I mean, it is a superhero movie as far as Blade being a superhero, but if that makes any sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel it doesn't fit like it doesn't hit any of the check marks for a superhero movie. There's no long origin story. There's no.
I mean, but you can argue with that about a lot of superhero movies, like Suicide Squad or stuff like that.
Nowadays, yeah, but I think like we definitely like we're gonna get to a phase in superhero movies where you hit a lot of like cliches and check marks and all that kind of stuff. Like the damsel in this movie, Karen, she's not really that bad. She kind of holds her own to an extent. She does. She seems competent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
What would you give this? Which rating would you give this?
It's an easy 7.
A 7, huh?
It's an easy 7.
Yeah, same. That's the second number I gave it too. I gave it a 7 as well.
Because it's a good movie. It's not a fantastic movie.
No.
But it's not a bad movie either. It's above average in what it is, so
Yes.
and what it wants to do.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's an easy 7.
Yeah. And if it's on, I'm definitely gonna watch it, or at least
Parts of it.
exactly parts of it. Yeah, 7 it is.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
So not yet.
What's up?
This is the last episode before hiatus.
Oh, god damn it. No. I want to miss these
Yep.
suckers.
So we're gonna be off for, I don't know, whenever I decide to come back. But yeah, so it'll be a few weeks. There'll be a couple of hiatus episodes, so forth and so forth, like there usually is.
Yeah. And we're going to start doing it every 5 years in these movies, right?
Yeah, because there's so many movies. We're going into the 2000s now, and there's so many movies. We're going to start doing a hiatus every 5 years instead of every decade, because otherwise you'd be doing 100 movies in a decade. You
And
know,
I will get burned out from that real quickly.
I mean, you burned out just on this movie alone.
I burned out at Batman and
And-
Robin.
But yeah, all right, now we can stop talking to these idiots.